Well, welcome back to the Homestead. It's been a pretty good while since I got a video put out, and that's because what I've been working on here at the house just hasn't been very good for me to film. I've been putting the baseboard and shoe molding in, and since I'm cutting that in one location and installing it in another location, I can't really film the entire process, and it's just not very interesting the way that I film, and I don't have somebody else to run the camera for me. So I just put the camera to the side and went ahead and got the baseboard and shoe molding in, and my wife's going through now and she's caulking and painting it. And in the meantime, I've also been working on my staircase, which I don't have a camera that's really suitable for filming that in the narrow confined area that it is. So I've pulled all the 2x10 construction steps off. I've gone ahead and put in the side boards and the skirting on the staircase, put the risers in, and put the oak stair treads in. And I've gotten those sanded and stained and one coat of polyurethane on them. And while that was drying, I decided to start working on installing my tub. Unfortunately, it's been a long time since I put a video out, and I shot a lot of this footage without turning the microphone on. So hopefully I can try and cobble something together for you that makes a decent video, but I flubbed up. So the early parts of this video are already done with no audio. But what I did was I took the tub and I just centered it left to right in this little cubby. And then we came off the wall, I think it was 4 3/4 inches that I got that off the wall. And that's where we decided we wanted to install the tub. Now, I've got a freestanding faucet in the corner of this tub. And the reason for that is these tubs come with a very narrow faucet fixture up here. There's really not a lot of different styles of faucet that you can get for them. And I just never have cared for the original faucets for these tubs. While I love the claw tub, I never did like the faucets. So I've just got some oil rub bronze plugs and put it over the faucet holes to cover those up. And then I'm using a freestanding water fixture here to fill the tub. Now, the reason I chose that tub, or that fixture, is it kind of reminds me of a pitcher pump that you would see on a cistern. And when I was in 3rd grade, we moved into an old farmhouse on my grandfather's homestead, and he had bought this tub for $5 from the Camp Van Dorn military base in Centerville, Mississippi, when it was being closed down. So he bought this tub and he brought it home and he installed it into that farmhouse. And when my parents moved back into that farmhouse while my father was building our home, we didn't actually have running water in the house. We were using those 2 cisterns, so we caught the rainwater that filled the cisterns. And then we had a pitcher pump that we would pump the water out of the cistern, carry it in the house, heat it on the stove, and fill the tub with. So it's just a little nostalgia for me, really, to have the faucet there that looks kind of like a pitcher pump that I used to fill this up when I was from 3rd to 6th grade, I think is when we were living in that house, while my dad built the house that I grew up in. So at any rate, I've got the faucet already installed, and it's a fairly simple procedure. It just has a 3-pronged base on it. You drill a hole through the floor for the 2 water lines to go through, and then you use 3 anchor bolts to screw it to the floor, and then the rest of the faucet screws onto that base plate, and it's freestanding like that. So it's pretty secure. It's not going to go anywhere. And the only thing I have left to do on that is to go under the house and hook the water lines up to it. So once I did that, I moved the tub back into place, and I began hooking the drain up. And I'm trying to mark where I need to drill a hole through the floor for the drain pipe right now. So what I did was I took I don't know if you can see it in the viewfinder, but I took the overflow tube and I went ahead and cut a little bit off of it. It's way too long the way it comes. So I cut some off of it, and I've got it lined up on the floor where that's going to go through. And then I just put some tape under that and drew a pencil line around that drain pipe. So now I can take the tub and slide it out of the way. I can use my drill to go ahead and drill a hole through the floor for the drain pipe to go under the house. Then we can move the tub back into place, and I can finish hooking the rest of the fixtures up. So that's where I'm at right now. Let's go ahead and once again slide the tub back out of the way and drill that last hole, and then we'll clean that up and get it put back in place and go from there. Alright, so we've got the tape on the floor. The downspout or the overflow tube was resting right here, and I drew the circle around it so I know where the outline of that circle is going to be. And all I have to do now is just go ahead and drill the hole all the way through the floor. Now that I've got the hole in the floor for the drain to go through, I'm just going to slide the tub back into place and start fitting all of the overflow and the drain tubes together and plumb that through the floor here. And once we're done with that, we'll go under the house and make the connections. This is the drain unit for the tub, just laying down flat. This is where the tub drains. It'll come back to this T and then go down through the floor. And this is the overflow for the tub that comes down to the T and then down through the floor. The problem is both of these pieces are longer than what they need to be. So I'm going to have to cut them off. And in order for me to get the measurements for everything, first I'm going to have to install the drain for the tub, because this piece will determine the height of this T. And then once I know the height for that T, I can come back and measure for the overflow tube and get it cut. So let me go ahead and get these pieces dry fitted and marked for the length, and then we'll cut them off and make everything up. Alright, so now that I have the drain piece, or the tail piece for the drain, hooked into the tub and into my T, the T is in the permanent location. So now I'm going to go ahead and go under the house and get a materials list that I need to connect this to the drain for the house and to connect the water lines up for the faucet. So let's go under the house and take a look under there and see what we need. Alright, so from under the house, you can see here the two water supply lines that are coming through the floor. We're going to have to connect those up to this red and blue PEX. And then right here you can see the downspout for the drain coming out of the floor, and we're just going to connect it up to this drain pipe right here. So let's go ahead and make those connections up. All right, here's my plumbing sidekick right here. He's been handing me all my parts, and we can see now that that red and blue PEX is insulated where it comes out of the floor, and we've got it made it up to those two supply lines there with the shut-off valves sticking out. Right there's the other one. Now we're going to come back and put rock wool in here to insulate this bay now that the plumbing is done. And then here you can see the tailpiece for the tub comes out through the floor there, and goes from the tailpiece to 1.5 inches to 2 inch, and then ties on into the rest of the plumbing. So that's all of the work to get the tub tied in. It should be ready to go now. All right, so we've already cut the waste overflow tube, and we've got that put into the T, and then the drain pipe going through the floor. And I've gone ahead and cut the waste tube for the bottom of the tub to the right length. Now I need to seal it onto the tub. So I'm going to go ahead and put some silicone around the top of that, put the rubber washer on it, then we'll put some silicone around the top of it. We'll put that under the tub, and then we'll put the waste basket on the top of the tub to sandwich that with some silicone around the bottom flange and Teflon tape on the threads to seal it all together. So let's go ahead and do that.
We went under the house and we fixed the water thing.
The water lines? The
water lines and the drain lines. And all we have to do now is leak test it.
Alright, so like Nathaniel said, we've got all the water lines and the drain lines hooked up and the tub is installed, but we can't leak test it today because the shutoff valve for the water is upstairs, and I put another coat of polyurethane on the stairs this morning, so it won't be dry until tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll come back, we'll turn the water on, we'll make sure we don't have any leaks, and then this will be done. But for today's video, I think that's going to do it. So till next time, y'all just keep checking back.
Bye.